Hey guys, this is Gamer Cow. Welcome to not Toho, the Genius of Savos, for once. You know, kind of been saying that in every video recently because that's what we've been doing. But yeah, today I don't know how frequent this is going to be because I kind of want to wait until next season, which I think starts like the 17th or 18th next month or something in July. But yeah, I kind of want to just go ahead and get a couple of matches done with a team hero I haven't actually tested because I didn't know how to reset rating stuff until looking, but oh well, that's fine. We are kind of using a pretty standard setup here, I guess. The Salamence is a little bit interesting and the Azumarill is not quite as you would expect, but I guess if you've seen my stuff recently you would probably know what's up with that. But yeah, actually partly doing this because I want to try and get a battle code for Bear today. Yeah, let's challenge with that team. You can tell I haven't even done anything with this yet because of my win-loss of nothing down the bottom. That's kind of fantastic. But yeah, I want to try and get a replay code for Bear to go through later on today because I think he starts streaming very soon. But that'll come after this, I guess. But yeah, let's take a look at a interesting looking team here. So yeah, I'm kind of just pulling up the stuff as I usually do with this. So we are looking at a mono fighting sort of team. Okay. Yeah, Breloom, Scrafty, Toxicroak, Medicham, that's going to be the Mega, Infernape, and possibly Mega Blaziken as well. Mine, however, is not Mega, so I'm not anticipating it too badly there, but I think there's really three very obvious mons to run here. Obviously Salamence is very good in this fight. Blaziken could actually be pretty good as well because fighting is nice against the Scrafty, the fire is pretty good against the Breloom and possibly the Toxicroak because of dry skin. And the Rotom is naturally going to be fairly good against the water types here, not so good against the Breloom, but at least I can spread burn around everything. And the Azumarill will be really nice too for the play rough, obviously. Landorus is pretty good too, mind you, because Earthquake is good, and Rock Slide is not quite so good, but the Intimidate is really nice. So Salamence Landorus is actually a pretty tempting idea to start with here. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. And then we have Azumarill in the back, and it's either a Rotom or Blaziken to finish this off. Blaziken does seem pretty tempting, because it does do well against a Breloom, which is favourable against most of my other mons. Especially Rotom would not do too good against it, so I think Blaziken is probably the way to go here. So we'll go with that. And let's see how this goes! So, first random battle, and it's funny it's against a mono team, but I guess that's kind of what happens sometimes when you play these things. Does not necessarily mean this team is going to be bad though. So let's see, Breloom Scrafty, yeah, fairly nice start there. The Intimidate is pretty good against my Landorus. Not so good against the Salamence though, because mine is actually a special based one. Scrafty, however, can go for the Fake Out, which could be annoying. But that's okay. And yeah, the double Intimidate lead here really does neuter these two very nicely. Like -2 attack on both my opponents. Very, very good. So my set is designed to outspeed Breloom at this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Mega Protect first turn, just so that I can see, you know, whether or not they go for the Spore. Probably try and guard against a Fake Out, because I could see a Fake Out Spore going against the Salamence here. That's easily the most dangerous of the enemies for my opponent. And I suppose I'll go U-turn on the Breloom, because then I can break its Sash. And that does seem like the best sort of idea here. Like, Scrafty Fake Out is kind of almost a given, really. And I think the Protect is definitely the best play to start with here. Because there it is, fake out against it, the U-turn will come out, which is quite nice here. I don't have anything with safety goggles, so if Spore actually did go on the Landor slot here, could be kind of in trouble with that, but I guess Blaziken is a pretty good shout here. I think it gets the speed boost, right, for this turn because it's been out on the field, so that'd be kind of nice. And the Spore indeed goes on Salamence, so pretty good first turn for me there. I didn't actually get the speed boost, which is not an issue here, that's for sure. So, obviously, Hyper Voice is the play to go for here. I could go for the Tailwind, but I really do need rid of that Breloom. And I guess, I mean, Protect is a possibility, but I'd rather save that. I'm not really needing to Protect here. I think Superpower is probably the way to go. Superpower on the Scrafty, because it probably survives, especially if it's a Zolfest Scrafty. It could easily survive the Hyper Voice here, so I think the Superpower is the way to go. Breloom go for the Protect, that's fine, because Scrafty should go down this turn. And Salamance's Hyper Voice, how much does this do? Oh, quite a bit, but it does survive quite nicely, and it's actually Citrus Berry. Okay, well, I double targeted it, so that's fine by me. Superpower will take it out very easily. Scrafty was probably going for something like Ice Punch there, I'm guessing, on the Salamence, but didn't really make a difference because I kind of protected myself well enough there. And my Life Orb Blaziken does take a little bit of damage there, but that is fine. So, what can my opponent bring in here? I guess his own Blaziken. That's a pretty reasonable option. I kind of want to go for the Tailwind this turn, because I think that Blaziken is going to protect here, and I do outspeed it right now, but when it gets a speed boost I won't. So I think I'm going to go for the Tailwind, and I'm going to go for the Overheat. Do I want to go Overheat or Hidden Heart Ice here? I think Overheat is probably the safer move, but Hidden Heart Ice should KO with a Life Orb, right? I haven't actually run this calc, so I don't really know. This is designed to OHKO no investment Salamence, so I don't actually know if this Life Orb Hidden Power is going to be enough, but I'm going to try anyway. So the Blaziken goes to pretty obvious Protect here, and Breloom does Mark Punch. Okay, so getting a little bit of damage out, that's fine. Hidden Power, does this kill? That's the question here, and it actually does. Okay, so that saves me using Overheat, so I can use that on the last Mon, and Blaziken protecting doesn't matter because Salamence has the Tailwind. Not a move you see very often on Mence, but I've designed it to be a little bit bulkier here, so that I can guarantee, you know, not guarantee, but so that I can utilize the Tailwind a bit more often. So yeah, I wanted to try Tailwind Salamence because I've not seen it before, and that's as good a reason as any to try a Pokemon. You know, you haven't seen it do a move before, so that's a, you know, solid thing for it. I think Toxicroak is going to fake out here as well, so I could maybe go for the Protect on Salamence here, because I think that's, I might even just go for the double. Because of my Tailwind, I should still outspeed Blaziken even when it is at +2. But then it could just Protect again, and that's a bit of an issue. Because I think Salamence is going to get faked out this turn. Like, Toxicroak is definitely going to go for that. And I don't really know if I want to walk into it, but I do have some bulk to take that HP Ice, so I guess I could just do it and then overheat the Toxicroak. I'm running out of time here. I need to... Now, we'll Superpower Blaziken, get a good amount of damage off. There's the Fake Out going. It's on Blaziken though, so I do get a Hyper Voice off for nothing. And that should at least kill one of them. The other one... Oh, no, it kills both. No Focus Sash there. Okay. Not quite sure why you wouldn't Fake Out the Salamence. Maybe predicting that Protect? But I didn't end up going for it, so that's okay. And yeah, Salamence is pretty good. What else can you really say? Yeah, mono fighting versus the Salamence, it's always going to go downhill. Opponent didn't really get a chance to take it out too well because I did protect against the fake out spore in the first turn. And yeah, not really a whole lot else to say with that fight. So even though I'm just going to like save the videos here. I'm probably going to do 3 games because I only anticipate if I am going to do these things too often, I'm only going to do them every 2 or 3 days because of the whole having to upload after hours sort of stuff. So yeah, that's a solid start. 1 battle, 1 win. Good for tie now, right? That's it. Unbeaten record. If only. But yeah, we're getting to see some of the quirks here. So now we have a Japanese player, which means I won't really understand what the Pokemon are until they come out, but that is fine. This is a bit more of a standard setup though, so this could be a bit more interesting, I suppose. So we have our team here of Kangaskhan, Landorus, Heatran, Charizard, Cresselia, and Amoonguss. So we have some Trick Room components here. And we have the Sun component, obviously, with Charizard, Heatran. Cresselia, Charizard is a pretty good combo, I have to say. And obviously Landorus is really solid as well. I'm not immediately sure how I want to go with this. I think I might want to go Landorus Blaziken, because then I could run, like, fake out protection, like with Blaziken at the very least. I could use Rock Slide if the Charizard comes out. Cresselia would be a bit of an issue at that point, but I think I could work around Cress. Like, I could U-turn out with Landorus and go to something like Aegislash. It would probably be my 3rd Mon here. Although Aegislash really doesn't like Heatran and Charizard. Like, Heatran and Charizard it can Wide Guard against. Maybe not so much the Charizard because Overheat's there, but yeah, I mean, it's a tough call with the Aegislash, but I think it's kind of necessary to take on the Cresselia here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run Blaziken and Landorus to start with, have Aegislash up in the back, and Azumarill's not really very good in this game, you know, as odd as that sounds, because Charizard just kind of shuts down the water attacks. Salamence is kind of okay. I think Rotom might be the better pick though, so we'll go with the Rotom here. So let's see how this goes. So I'm really not too proficient with this meta game. I've seen I've seen a lot of tournament stuff and live streams, and obviously Mr. Aaron Savitron then going in with stuff as well. That's kind of my setup here. So Kangaskhan Cresselia. That is an interesting start here. Okay. So I guess the Cresselia could easily get the Trick Room up here, and there's not really too much I can do about that, but I also don't know if I mind the Trick Room that much. Because Aegislash doesn't really care about it. Rotom is a little bit indifferent. I do have some speed investment, but yeah, I don't actually know how much I care with that. So I guess Blaziken is probably going to get faked out this turn. Or it just gets outsped because Kangaskhan is naturally faster. But if it's a Trick Room setup, then it probably isn't going to be. You know what? I think I want to take the gamble here, and I'm going to go for the superpower on the Kangaskhan. Because if I could get rid of that, like turn 1, that would be absolutely amazing. I don't know which target it's going to fake out, and if it even has fake out, and yeah, that's... it would be great if I could get rid of it turn 1, so I think that's what we're going to go for. The U-turn just seems to make sense here, although I could have just doubled up on the Kangaskhan, I guess. But it actually has Protect, which is pretty smart, so no fake out on this one, that's good. I do still get the U-turn damage off, which is okay, but Blaziken might just get like Psychic here, and that would be pretty bad. But at the very least I can bring Aegislash out, and... or I could bring Rotom out and go for the burn on the Kangaskhan. No, I think Aegislash is the better play here, because then I can threaten the Cresselia and make sure that doesn't go too deep into this. And it does go for the Trick Room, so that is fine. I'm okay with this. I might just switch back out to Landorus at this point, because the Intimidate doubling up on the Kangaskhan would be pretty good. I'm expecting at least one of these two to switch out here. So that is definitely something to consider. So it's either Landorus or obviously either Landorus or Rotom to switch to here. And I mean, the other option is I go for Protect. That would conserve my Intimidate in case another physical attacker switches in here. And it would let me get a shot off at something here, and maybe that's the play to make. You know, stall out the turn of the Trick Room, and then next turn I could switch out in King's Shield or something. I think that's what I'm gonna go for here. And we are going to... Are we gonna Shadow Ball the Crest, or Flash Cannon on the slot? I'm running out of time once again. I'm not used to having such a short time for this. I'm gonna Flash Cannon the Kangaskhan, because I want to get as much damage on that thing as possible here. And it does go for the Sucker Punch. That's a nice read. So this is going to trigger Weakness Policy, however, and at -1 attack, it really isn't going to do a whole lot of damage. So yeah, that +2 is going to mean this Flash Cannon will hurt so badly. And oh, my Aegislash is actually faster. Okay. Alright, yeah, I'm not using minimum speed here, so that might be bad, but oh, so much damage coming out there. Wow. Almost getting the kill. That's impressive. Unfortunately, I kind of can't afford to stay in with it here, and you know, I think I do need to King Shield this turn. So because of that, I mean, this is a point I could potentially get sort of outdone here, but I think I'm gonna switch in to the Landorus here, and we are going to have to King Shield. I think it's predictable, but at the same time, I don't want to get Sucker Punched, and Kangaskhan does pretty smartly switch out here. So what is coming in instead? It is the Amoonguss. Nice play. That's fine. I do have Spore as an issue now, though. That is a potential problem. That's, yeah, not so good, but at the very least, I don't get myself killed here, but that was definitely a nice play switching out the Kangaskhan there, rather than going for the Sucker Punch, and Psychic does get a little bit of damage out. It's not too much, although that is a lot more than I would have liked. It's probably it's at least partly invested. That Cresselia is quite nice. So, what to do now? Trick Room is still going, so I can't really... I think Aegislash is going to get spored here, and I don't really have a solution to that at this point, because I don't have safety goggles on anything here, and I kind of need to keep the Rotom in the back in case of Light Landorus. I mean, I guess I could sack that. Go for something on it. I don't want to necessarily give up the Weakness Policy, but at the same time, I think Rotom is probably my least useful player at the moment. So, yeah, that's something I would consider here, switching out to it. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that, because time is basically up again. And yeah, sacrificing Rotom to the Spore is probably the best option here, because yeah, that was the play to make. Get rid of the +2 on the Aegislash, and yeah, Psychic coming out. It's going to do a lot of damage. Landorus is taking a heavy beating off that Cresselia, and I don't particularly like that, but not a whole lot I'm going to do. I'm most likely going to trigger Citrus Berry here. And yeah, there it is. So Rocky Helmet is going to be the item that's on the Amoonguss. That was that was the third turn of Trick Room. So yeah, because the Blaziken protected, then the Aegislash went out, and now I've switched out. So there should be one more turn of Trick Room here, and I have a feeling that Amoonguss is likely to switch out here, but that's okay. If it does, it does. Just realized I didn't actually bring Salamence this time, so I don't even have a Mega on board, but that's okay. We'll burn the turn of sleep. I'll try and get, well, I won't try and get anything because I need to just burn the sleep turn, but I'm pretty sure this is the turn that Trick Room should wear out, so yeah, Gig Drain going off on the Rotom, that's pretty nice. I could have switched out, but I really did want to burn that sleep turn, and I feel like that was the more important move to make here, to get rid of that sleep shot. So, now we have that situation where Amoonguss is probably going to protect or switch out. Most likely protect. And that Trick Room is going to try and go up again. So I'm actually going to go ahead and double up on Cresselia here. If I wake up, then that's great. If not, it doesn't matter too much. And Cress is going to have to try and get the Trick Room up again. So hopefully a Life Orb Overheat is going to be enough to take it out here. Although the Rage Powder coming out, that's pretty clever. So not quite what I was expecting, but the Overheat still gets a good target, and that is going to decimate the Amoonguss here, which does remove the sleep potential, so that is very good. It does leave a couple of other holes open though, because yeah, apart from taking another sleep turn, I do unfortunately have Trick Room up again now, so yeah, Trick Room's a tough matchup to play when you're not really used to playing the stuff that way, but still, I'm up in advantage just about, and yep, there's the Kangaskhan coming back, as I would have thought. So, I guess it's probably obvious that Blaziken would go for the Protect here. And I'm kind of thinking that, I mean, Kangaskhan doesn't have Fake Out. We've sort of established that before. I'm thinking it might be best to go to Landorus here, get the Intimidate off, and then try and get the Thunderbolt on the Kangaskhan, and just try and take it out here. Because Blaziken is still somewhat important. It needs Trick Room down, that's like the big problem here. Like, my team is not super suited for taking Trick Room on, I guess. But yeah, Kangaskhan smartly going with a Protect here. Landorus is probably going to go down to Psychic. Or no, Rotom's getting targeted. Okay, I am defensively invested with Rotom, so that's fine. I can take that. And that's good. I get my health back up quite nicely. And I do wake up, unfortunately not going to get the T-Ball off this turn, but that is okay. And here I think we just go for... I mean, I kind of want a U-turn again, but at the same time, I think it may be best to switch the Landorus out again. Like, it's playing a lot of Hokey Pokey sort of stuff here, but I think if I switch out to Aegislash and take the Psychic and Protect with Rotom, then I can stall out another Trick Room turn, which would be, you know, quite beneficial here. So we'll do that, because the Rotom would kind of die to Double Edge, I think, at this point, and the Kangaskhan is switching out, which is quite smart. What's the last mon here, then? It is his own Landorus. Okay. I am perfectly fine with this, because I'm actually just switching out Landorus here, rather than taking anything else, so that is good. And the Protect will save me in case Psychic went this way instead. Ice Beam coming out though, okay, so that's fine, I resist that. That's good to see, no freeze. And now we're in an interesting position, because the Landorus probably doesn't want to stay in here. And I can, I guess, just go for the Shadow Ball Hydro Pump. Is there anything wrong with that plan? Cresselia could switch out, which would mean that Kangaskhan comes in for free again. That could be a thing. I mean, Hydro Pump could miss, but you can't really play for that. I think that's the best play here. Just go for the Hydro Pump and the. I mean, it could be Assault Vest Landorus, I guess. So maybe what I should do is I should double up on Lando here. Because this is... I mean, it could just be Choice Scarf, but whatever, you know. I'm going to double up on the Landorus, I think. And my opponent just forfeits. Okay, I really do not agree with a forfeit there. I honestly do not see why you would forfeit that. Like, that was very much in the balance still. I do not think... I don't think I was in a super winning position there. Like, I was in a good position, but I didn't see myself in a dominating position. I'm actually kind of disappointed at that, because that was going to be a good game there. Never mind, that is how it goes. So that is 2 wins in 2 games, I suppose. I'll take it. I mean, I don't mind, but I just wish that could have kept going, because I'm pretty sure I wasn't 100% winning that, but oh well. You know, I did have the Landorus in a pretty rough position, and the Kangaskhan was just about dead, so if it switched in, I mean, I could have missed. That was the obvious thing, but yeah, that was a game. And now we have another interesting looking team here with the anti-intimidate Melodic here. So we have Mega Gallade, we have probably Mega Scizor, we have Nidoqueen, Hydreigon, Melodic, and Heatrazon. So this is a pretty interesting team. I don't want to just use my Intimidate Mon straight up. Melodic is actually a slightly troublesome Pokemon to take on. Like, if Azumarill gets Skull Burned, that's kind of annoying. Rotom is my other option against it, really. Aegislash is okay against it, but everything else just isn't really super great to deal with it, so that's kind of troublesome. The Hydreigon could potentially be troublesome. I like the Gallade pick, though. That having Inner Focus when it goes Mega is pretty solid. So what would my opponent likely lead with here? Probably Melodic because of the double Intimidate on my team. And I want to say Hydreigon if it's Choice there, like Choice Scarf or something. So I think I want to lead Rotom Azumarill. Rotom Azumarill is pretty good against most of the team here. Like, Azumarill is really nice with the Play Rough and the Walls Falls and stuff. Not so good against the Nidoqueen, but Rotom complements that with Hydro Pump, so I think that's the best, like, first options. And then Salamence is still good in this fight. Blaziken is pretty good, we'll have Blaziken involved here. And Landorus or Salamence? I think the Salamence is probably better. Although, having said that, Ice Beams are kind of common. We'll go with the Landorus here, and once again, not bring our Mega. But that's okay. You don't have to run the Mega in order to play well here. So, I mean, the opponent will expect that Salamence is involved somewhere, right? So, that's always a possibility to handle. As you see, my internet is still not the greatest here, because it does take a while for these fights to load in, but that is okay. So my Rotom Azumarill going up against Melodic Nidoqueen. Okay, that was basically how I thought the start of this was going to go, so that's okay. Nidoqueen is interesting because Sheer Force is pretty strong, but I think my first turn is somewhat obvious here. I'm just going to go the Hydro Pump, but I don't know whether I want to switch out or whether I want to go for the Play Rough. I am Splash Plate, so I'm not sure if I would live, but I don't really have a good switch in for Melodic there anyway, so I'm gonna have to just go, I think, Play Rough on Melodic here. It's unboosted, so I'm probably... Whoa, I'm faster than an idiot. Okay. I also kill it in one go, so okay, crit mattered. The critical hit probably did matter there, and that is a little bit unfortunate for my opponent, but whatever. Going for the Skull here, I'm probably going to try and get the burn. I could have actually just gotten Helping Hand in that first turn, but I didn't want to miss the Hydro Pump. And that Plate Rough did a big chunk of damage. That is really cool. So, Helping Hand Thunderbolt might actually kill next turn if that's something I want to go for. Depends what the opponent switches out here, or switches in though, and it is the Rotom that comes in. Okay. So, That is interesting. I think I'm gonna eat a Will-O-Wisp here. That's the one like disadvantage to this, but I think I might just go Helping Hand Thunderbolt here, because getting rid of that Melodic would really help my back row, and that is my sort of surefire way of getting that here. So Helping Hand is also not a move you see on Azumarill very often, so this is likely unexpected, and it is enough to get the kill. So Helping Hand coming in there. I don't know with Melodic Special Bulk, I don't know if it would have been enough otherwise. I'm actually just going to take a Thunderbolt here, which does a ton of damage. That has to be an offensive Rotom, surely. But I guess Heat Rotom is usually more on the aggressive side, so I'm not too surprised by that. But it is a ton of damage to come out. But I got rid of the Melodic, and now I can Rock Slide with my Landorus. And Hydreigon comes out. Okay, so Hydreigon is kind of an interesting final choice here. It might just break my Landorus in one hit, which is a bit troublesome. I don't really know how best to handle that. I mean, I could have, I guess, switched out instead of Helping Handed last turn, but I probably would have taken the Scald in the slot, so, you know, would have been bad either way. Azumarill really was my best way of beating Hydreigon, though, so how to go about this now? I think I'm just gonna Hydro Pump Rock Slide here. I mean, if that Hydreigon is Scarf, then it's gonna have to lock itself into Hydreigon Meteor here. And it is Scarf, so that's fine. It's gonna be low enough in attack power at this point that Blaziken can take it out. And it doesn't even kill my Landorus. Okay, that is really good, although Hydreigon does dodge the Rock Slide. Rotom, however, does not, so that is a good chunk of damage. My Rotom is faster. That, I must have missed that last turn, because, yeah, I wasn't paying enough attention with that. But okay, that's basically game at this point, because now I just go for the Will-O-Wisp, and Rock Slide doesn't even matter. I've got Blaziken in the back, so yeah, the opponent, that is a time when you do forfeit, because your Hydreigon getting weaker every turn, it won't even break Rotom, and yeah, that is a pretty solid start here. So the critical hit on Nidoqueen was very lucky for me, and I think the Helping Hand was extremely unexpected, because I'm fairly confident in Melodic's bulk to have survived that attack otherwise. Most Melodic do have special bulk invested, I believe, so yeah, that's basically how it goes. So yeah, 3 wins in the first setup here. I'm not actually going to continue the battle, I just wanted to have the Pokemon on the top screen. So, what do you think? First games into the VGC ladder stuff, and it's gone pretty well, I have to say. We had a very interesting first game with the mono team stuff. Then the second game was a much more serious Trick Room archetype stuff, which I found really interesting to play against. And I still think my opponent forfeited way too early in that match. And then the third one was pretty cool. The Nidoqueen was really nice to see, even if it didn't get to do anything. And hey, the 2 sets, which are kind of a little bit different on my team, actually had good use in these first 3 games here. You know, the Tailwind on the Salamence and the Helping Hand on the Azumarill. Very nice. So, this has been Gamer playing Pokemon for once, and whenever we do more of these, then that will be it. Let me know what you sort of think team-wise, if there's anything that you reckon I should look into changing. That's one of the other reasons I want to do this every 2 or 3 days, is because unlike the Genius of Sapphire stuff, I will not be pre-recording these. So I will record them, then upload them the same night, basically, and you know, we'll basically have a couple of days if people want to comment on team stuff and anything that I should change, or, you know, stuff like that, and we'll go from there, and we'll potentially edit the team, go on to more battles, and yeah, do stuff. So yeah, until then, take care.